In today's video, I want to share with you the 5 things that I did in my online business last year that resulted in a 30% increase in revenue and a 25% increase in our profit margin. And later in the video, I'll share the number 1 thing that we did that by far had the biggest impact. And it's pretty counterintuitive to how most 7-figure business owners operate, but yet it's something that you can start doing in your business today. Let's dive into it. Strategy number 5 was that I streamlined the back-end systems of our business. At one point, I had like 17 different systems that were supporting our 7-figure online business. Well, in 2021, I got that down to 6 primary systems. And I love that because number 1, it declutters the back end of the business. It simplifies everything because simplicity scales, my friend. And it also saves us a whole bunch of money where we were using a whole bunch of tools that frankly weren't necessary. The biggest tool, and biggest in terms of having the biggest impact on the business in consolidation and saving us a whole bunch of money, is a tool called 10xpro.io. I love 10x Pro because this is where all my course training lives now, all my funnels, all my landing pages, all my sales data and charts and dashboards, affiliate center, everything. I'll have a link to 10xpro.io below this video here, but I absolutely love it. It allowed me to get rid of probably 3 tools in the business that were costing me several $100s a month altogether. And for those reasons, I love 10x Pro. Then we use ConvertKit as our email CRM. We use Google Drive as our file storage. We use Slack as our internal team communication. We use ClickUp as our project management tool. Side note there, I also use Notion for some of the projects that I'm personally working on, which I love Notion. And then finally, we use Riverside.fm as our podcasting platform where I do all my interviews, I do all my solo episodes, and it makes it just really, really easy for my podcast production team to come in, grab the audio and video files, and then go and produce the show. So I took 17 or so different tools that we're using in the back end, whittled it down to 6 primary platforms, tools to run our business. And I love how simple that is. I love how simple it makes the overall business run. And then also we're saving a whole bunch of money in the process. Okay, strategy number 4 was that I had a consistent content strategy where I tested new types of topics. Okay, so I'm the host of the Art of Online Business podcast. I've been doing it since the middle of 2015. We have, at the time recording this video here, 586 episodes on the podcast and close to just about 9 million downloads of the show. Well, what I decided to do in 2021 that had a huge impact on growth of the podcast, which in turn was something that increased our revenue and increased our profit margin in the process, was that I introduced new topics. I decided to test new topics on the podcast. So we publish twice a week, Wednesday and Friday, and pretty much, it's been the same format for a very long time, where Wednesday is a full-length episode where I do an interview with somebody or I teach something myself. Friday is we call it a quick tip Friday episode. Been doing it for years, and I'm teaching on a specific topic for like 20 minutes or less. Usually I'm trying to get less. But what I decided to do was I tested new topics, new types of episodes, I should say, into my podcast. Again, you've got to have a consistent content strategy in your online business, okay? So for me, it's the podcast. What I decided to do, I introduced more case studies, number 1. I knew because as the podcast goes, so do my applications for my Accelerator Coaching program. So what I decided to do was, with that knowledge, I got very intentional about introducing more case studies to the podcast. I had more of our Accelerator Coaching members on the podcast, highlighting them, profiling their growth and what they're doing in their online business. Number 2 is I introduced a segment called What Would Rick Do? So what would I do on a certain situation? I took situations or questions from our Accelerator Coaching program where somebody reached out on Instagram or emailed me or whatever. I would take that situation and I would do a podcast episode as if, like, what would I do about that? Also, if I were coaching that person, how would I be coaching them? So that was another type of episode. The third thing I did was I went really deep on a specific topic in an episode. So rather than covering a whole bunch of things about a topic in an episode, I got very specific and went deep on one or two topics in the episode. This was a big change, especially when I had guests on the show, where instead of talking about 7 different things, we went deep on 1 or 2 specific topics. And my audience really, really resonated with these changes. In Q4 alone in 2021, we 5x'd our downloads. We did almost 1 million downloads in 3 months in Q4 of 2021. So the lesson here is to, number one, make sure you have a consistent content strategy, something that you're putting out weekly, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a video like this on your YouTube channel, a blog, whatever it might be. Be consistent. Number two, don't be afraid to test different types of topics and different types of, segments and themes to different episodes where you're going to attract your ideal audience. That was a game changer for us in 2021. Okay, strategy number 3, and this is gonna sound kind of obvious, right? But we became very intentional with what I started promoting on my podcast. Again, the Art of Online Business podcast. I got very intentional with promoting our Accelerator Coaching program. This is our one offer that we have in the business. So I don't know, it makes sense, right, to be promoting that on the podcast. But prior to 2021, prior to March of 2021, I was promoting all kinds of different things, whether I would sometimes, talk about go leave a rating and review, make sure to subscribe, opt into the quiz, maybe it was an affiliate promotion, whatever it might be. I was all over the place. I will tell you, once I got very intentional about focusing on promoting my one offer on the podcast, we saw a huge spike in applications. And we had a ton of applications for the program after that. So for the 9 months in 2021, from March till December, we saw a huge spike in applications, and we tied it directly to, that's when I started talking about intentionally promoting one program on the podcast. So whatever your content strategy is, again, whether it's a video, YouTube channel, whether it is a podcast, blog, what have you, be consistent with what you're promoting, okay? It sounds so obvious, but it works. And I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier than March 2021, but when we made that simple shift, I was able to gain an intense amount of leverage from doing that, and we saw huge results in the process. Strategy number 2 was that I focused our team on serving our singular focus in the business. So look, I don't have a big team. It's very intentional. I have a very small team. I want it that way. We are small, but we are a very powerful team. We get a lot done. We have a lot of fun, and it's just very intentional. It's what I've had a big team, didn't want that. And so with such a small team, all it really was looking at where we were spending our time, our resources, our energy, etc. in the business, and notice that we were too spread out. We were focusing on too many different types of things in the business. And when I focused them on our singular focus in the business, which is our Accelerator Coaching program, everything changed, because all of our energy, all of our time, all of our ideas and focus and so forth went on this one thing that we do in the business, from a marketing perspective, from a sales perspective, and from a fulfillment perspective. So what I want you to do is look at your business. Where is your team focused? If you have a team. If you don't have a team, well, this is going to help you as you grow your team. Look at where your team is focusing in your business. What resources are going where? What energy is being focused on what in the business? And how can you maybe realign what your team is doing towards your main focus in the business? Again, I want to do another video about this in the future, but 3 systems in your business: marketing system, sales system, fulfillment system. How can we refocus the resources that we have on our team towards those 3 things, towards the singular offer in your business? Okay, game changer for us in 2021 that allowed us to increase revenue while also increasing our profit. And strategy number 1, and this one's pretty counterintuitive to how most 7-figure online business owners operate. And this strategy is having singularity of focus. That is, we went all in on one offer in the business, and that's our Accelerator Coaching program. Now, as some people call it, it's a high ticket offer, and that was kind of scary, right? To think that I was gonna go all in on this one quote unquote high ticket offer. But I looked at it and I was like, you know what? All right, let's look at this through kind of a 3 lens filter. Number 1, where was I finding most joy in the business in terms of fulfilling on what we were selling? Accelerator, hands down. So, all right, check that box for that one. The second lens I went through in the filter was for the amount of energy that I was putting in, how much effort versus energy, right? So how much effort was I putting in versus the energy that it was giving me in a return, right? So what was my ROI on effort versus energy? And again, check that box for Accelerator as well. The third criteria was looking at the data, right? So in looking at the data as far as our marketing, as far as our sales, as far as our fulfillment, right? We're looking at revenue, we're looking at profit, we're looking at time and energy and what went into fulfilling on this offer. Again, hands down, it was our Accelerator Coaching program. So I made the decision to go all in on one offer. And it's the singularity of focus in our business that impacted our revenue and our profit by a long shot. It was the best thing that I did in my business. Actually, I would say I'm in 8 years now in business, and this is the best thing I've done in the business. So I wanna encourage you, I wanna challenge you, look at your online business right now. Do you have singularity of focus where you are serving one audience with a specific problem, with a specific offer? You should absolutely have a flagship offer that you are known for. And for us, it's our Accelerator Coaching program. This singularity of focus and having one offer, best thing that I've done for my business. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Do you have singularity of focus in your business, or do you have multiple offers in your business? Look, this is the first video I've ever done here on YouTube, and I'd love feedback for in the comment section as well. Click that like button if you like this video, and also subscribe to the channel here because I've got a ton more videos. We're just getting started, my friend. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.